Excellent. Well, I think that Jerry, we can start from for now.
Yeah. Alrighty. Thank you guys for joining today's sync call. We plan to do this every month. We plan to have like this call where community gets to talk to the team, gets to know different updates and everything is happening. So this call is so that you like basically have a sync, get information, updates about Symbiotic, and like generally you can just ask the team different questions you want to ask, and we just have fun because this is like the unwind zone. So we just chill. So today's section is gonna be super exciting because it's like our very first symbiotic sync. And this question is for you, like Sudo. Can you give us like a brief introduction of yourself and your role in Symbiotic?
Yeah. I think yeah, Felix actually can take it from here. I just wanted to hop in and hang out.
All right.
Idea.
Yeah,
Thanks for
hey
taking it.
guys. No worries. Yeah. I'm here like from Portugal, calling in from Portugal. Felix, I'm the head of ecosystem at Symbiotic. So I take care of all our partnerships with networks building on Symbiotics, the builders, also the vaults, the node operators. And yes, super happy to be here in the Discord, supporting the community, supporting like efforts that Sudo is leading. And yeah, excited to talk about what we're cooking in the Symbiotic kitchen, and answer some of the questions that you guys may have. Um, so yeah, feel free to drop them. I think in the chat, or I'm not sure how we're gonna do this, but basically like we have some time at the end to answer some questions. So like yeah, super happy to take some of those here from my perspective.
Yeah, I'll be reading like messages from the chat, so just chill. So yeah, I think I'll have to go first before the community asks their questions. So, and let's just start with like for the sake of people that are new here, can you just tell us a little bit about Symbiotic?
Yeah, for sure. So Symbiotic is, you can think of it as this framework to build a network or protocol that needs staking. So basically needs some economic security to operate. Since the crypto space existed, one of the core problems is that it's like an open permissionless space, right? So you have to somehow ensure that the actors in your network, in your system, are honest and do what they're supposed to do the work they do, and do it well. And one of the core ways that has emerged as doing that, incentivizing people to do that, and also punishing them if they don't, is staking. So proof of stake. Ethereum switched to proof of stake a few years ago itself. Most of the major chains outside of Ethereum, outside of Bitcoin, run on proof of stake. And basically, almost every system that where you have like multiple actors, the best way to do it and to scale it is through staking. So Symbiotic essentially realized that, and what we're building towards is essentially building a toolbox and a protocol that makes it as easy as possible to launch such a staking network and to like scale it to meet the needs. So really focused on having the ability to use different assets, to use like your native token, but also to use restaking. So using other tokens such as Ethereum or Bitcoin that might be more secure to secure your use case, or even stable coins, and then essentially having the building blocks to make it easy for you to do that if you're a builder. So instead of having to build the smart contracts yourself and going through all that, you can just use what we provide to you, and you're good to go. You save a lot of time and energy that way. So,
Yeah, nice. That's awesome. Basically, it's been 2 months since Symbiotic launched their mainnet, and yeah, a lot of things have happened. I've been in the community, so can you like just give us a little bit about like the cool things that happen, like updates since then, since the launch of Symbiotic?
Yeah, for sure. So we went live on mainnet, but obviously that's kind of the start of the journey, not really the end. We launched with a bunch of like top teams supporting the shared security marketplace that we're building. So there's like different actors in that system. There's like node operators, so people running infrastructure, including people like Kiln, Chorus One, B2P, like professional infrastructure companies. And then there is the vaults, basically the ones that manage the money, that do the delegations, that look for strategies to generate yield and to like do so in a risk averse manner. There we had support from top teams also like Gauntlet, EtherFi, Renzo. And then the most important part of the Symbiotic ecosystem is the networks. So these are the builders that build decentralized networks or other use cases that require economic security. And we launched with 14 of them right on the mainnet. And this also started the process to Symbiotic Point Season 2, which basically means we are trying to help them scale the economic security they need, help them launch, help them fully roll out slashing, all the features that they require, and also help incentivize their communities. So that's kind of what happened in the last few months. And over the last 2 months, we've seen that system progress and roll out, and everything working out well. So we haven't seen any like major issues. We've seen teams hit their targets. Yesterday, CapEx, one of our early networks, also announced their fundraise. Over 3 million that they raised, and they have $250 million stake there for security. So they'll kind of expand on their agent marketplace. There's many other networks like Hyperlane that is progressing and getting really close to their full rollout, and other projects that I'm happy to go more into. On our end, since we launched, we've been focusing on kind of the next iteration of Symbiotic. So basically, now the core contracts are there. It's all on Ethereum. What happens next? How do we get more networks to build in Symbiotic? How do we make it easier? How do we service people in this like roll-up centric or multi-chain world? So that's stuff that we're cooking right now, improving those things, and working towards the next phase of Symbiotic's growth. So I think we can like dive deeper into that. And yeah,
nice. I actually love the word cooking, because you guys are really cooking though. The next question is, what are some of the most interesting partnerships happening this year, and are there any exciting ones coming up?
Yeah, for sure. So like this year, we've announced a few things. Like there's still a lot in the pipeline that we weren't able to talk about yet. So I can tease a little bit there. We definitely like have some really big partnerships in the interoperability space coming, which will be super interesting. And as you know, like generally with the changing administration in the US and like a lot of the new developments also in the Bitcoin space and elsewhere, there's a lot of exciting things happening also in the AI market. And we have basically partners in all of these verticals that we're working with, since our tool set is very generalized and can help decentralize any sort of stack. So even things like yesterday where on the Hyperliquid you saw some of the pitfalls that centralization brings. Symbiotic can help alleviate some of these issues, make it easier to have multiple parties participate in such a system. So we're very excited to pursue these and to show the space how decentralization works and how you can make it easy and how you like keep the space honest in a way. And like as for some of the partners that we're doing that with, one of the big ones that we announced this year is Manta. Manta is a L2, has been one of the L2s that's been on the forefront of using new infrastructure. They were the first to adopt Celestia DA Now they're the first to build a fast finality solution, and using Symbiotic's staking primitives to essentially allow users of Manta to withdraw from the L2 back to the L1 faster. So this is one exciting use case that we are piloting with them, but it's also something that actually works for every other rollup. So we're working with a lot of other rollup partners that will adopt similar systems or maybe tweak them a bit to serve their needs. So there's more to come there, but Manta is definitely like we're excited to work with them on this and helping them release it. So this should also be something that's happening in the next few months to have the full Manta network rollout. The other one is Avail. That's maybe worth mentioning. With Avail, we actually have a long-running partnership where they extend the security of their DA layer through Symbiotic on Ethereum because they have their own standalone L1. But there's actually also other things we're pursuing with them. Avail Nexus as the interoperability solution, as various pieces of infrastructure that all require, or some of them require staking to work. Some of them are purely ZK based, but others are need staking also. So we have a pretty deep, multiple faceted approach with how we work with Avail. So I'm very, very excited for that collaboration. And then another one that's been recently announced is Plume. So Plume is building a RWA chain. RWA has been a topic, tokenization of real estate or real world assets has been a topic that's been big in the crypto space since for years, and hasn't really been achieved at scale so far. But many people are excited about this, and the way it works with Symbiotic is that instead of just having the RWA asset earn the off-chain yield from basically maybe in real estate the rent or from loans, off-chain loans or something like that, you can also use those assets in the Symbiotic security system. So basically in DeFi, and earn additional yield, which makes it really interesting. From the perspective of networks built on Symbiotic, RWA assets are actually also interesting because they are stable in terms of volatility, right? Many of the crypto assets, as you all know, and as you maybe all love or don't love, they're quite volatile. They can change in price quickly, which is not great. If you're trying to build an infrastructure product, you might want to have more reliable economic security. So RWA assets might be an interesting solution there. So yeah, Plume is going to be one of the first to test out that thesis for their own chain and also for applications built on their chain. So really excited about that. I think there's already a DEX, a SpiceNet, which will also use those Plume assets for their Symbiotic shared security integration. So really excited to see where that goes, and also really excited to share more of the partnerships that we're working on in the near future. We have a lot of things that we kept in the deck that we're waiting to throw out. So you should be looking out for those.
Nice. Monta, Avail, Plume. Sounds like really good, nice partnership. Don't you think it's going to be fair to share some alphas for people in the chat right now? What do you guys have in store for the next few months?
Yeah, definitely. I think currently, so some of these are really developer focused. So the effects of those will be more visible over time. We have, for example, the middleware SDK that makes it much easier to build a Symbiotic network. This has been fully audited, and this and is going to be basically being fully released. So the first networks will be built on that. The initial partners, some of the ones we had to basically build a lot of things from scratch. Just should speed up the process quite a lot. We have some interesting new use cases coming live with one that is maybe worth highlighting is Cap Labs. It's a new stablecoin project that essentially is using our slashing primitives in an interesting way to essentially create this stablecoin that can create a high yield by borrowing assets to different yield farmers, let's call them, for lack of a better term. I think they just call them also operators, where basically these operators borrow funds, create yield on them, and basically bring back the yield to the stablecoin. And if they don't hit their yield targets, then they can be slashed. So this is a very innovative, novel way of using the primitives that we provide, which we'll see how it works out. So it's definitely also something that has risks attached to it, but it's great to see that experimentation, and we're really that's what we're trying to see. So we're pursuing more of those and helping the teams use our tools in the right way. So that one maybe is one that I'm excited about. And then we have stuff in the interoperability ecosystem, like I said, where in interoperability you're always connecting multiple chains or different ecosystems, meaning ideally we would have security from the assets of those different ecosystems instead of just having your own token that's completely unrelated. So I think that's a huge area for us where our multi-asset approach really lends itself to that and can sort of maximize the security that these bridges have. Bridge hacks have been some of the biggest in the history of crypto. Maybe now overtaken by some of the Bybit centralized exchange listing hacks, but before that, I think some of the bridge hacks have been the bigger ones, 400, 600 million lost. So through slashing, through having some of these features, you might be able to lower the likelihood of some of these exploits, or have a recourse in case an exploit actually does happen, in a way of insurance, where maybe the users of the bridge can be repaid when a hack happens off from the stake that has been delegated. That could be a product that someone can be building. There's a team that has some ideas around that they're actually not going to pursue themselves, but that others can come and pick up. It's called Safu. Maybe you can look that up. The guy posted his ideas of how one could build a product on like that. So there's a lot of things in the wild, some even up for grabs. So if your entrepreneurial gene strikes you, come and work with us.
I hope we have entrepreneurs in the chat.
Exactly.
So let's move to the next question. As a community member, how can you get involved with Symbiotic?
Yeah, I mean, the easiest way I would say is to be here to chat with other community members. We're tracking, what people are doing. We're really appreciate all the enthusiasm and the work you do in different ways, in different geographies, in different places. So that's all not going unrecognized. And thanks also for the team here in Discord that helps us realize that. There's also, we always love for people to help us explain the narrative, help us explain the vision of this staking framework that we have. It's quite a technical thing, of course. So education is quite important, and also standing true to our ideals of decentralization in a way. A lot of the things in the space become more centralized, but we can show through Symbiotic that actually decentralization can be better, or at least as easy, and hopefully better as centralized solutions. So everyone that helps us on that path and helps us explain this vision and how it works to people is we really appreciate, and we're tracking that, and we will help amplify. And if you're actually coming down to trying to build something, we're definitely there to support that as well, and help us connect also with our ecosystem team. So obviously there's a lot of other partners in the system that always look for people to work with, which we're also happy to help on getting to know them. We're bringing people on our spaces, on the Discord here too, to introduce themselves. I think CapEx might have been here already, so we're trying to do more of that, so you can also get to know the ecosystem more and get involved with them as well.
Alrighty. For my last question, right, before I open the floor for the community to ask their question, and guys, feel free to drop your questions in the chat here. I'm gonna ask Felix. This is your time to ask any question that you have. So for my last question, I just want to get your opinion on the future of risk taking in crypto space.
Yeah, for sure. I think restaking, maybe helps to also explain what we say when we do that, right? I mean that like kind of reusing the same collateral for multiple use cases is obviously a way to be more capital efficient. And in general, capital efficiency is one of the main factors in the financial system overall. So you don't want to have idle capital that sits around and not doing anything while it could be productive somewhere else. And that's why we believe that everything will move to this basically minimal coordination layer for this capital, which is basically symbiotic, that allows the same capital to be reused if needed across multiple use cases. So you can imagine like partner networks sharing the same collateral, the same funds to secure each other because they trust each other. And basically we're just a framework to do that. And I think we're still very early in that system. Currently there's only been a few use cases that are actually pursued and that definitely make sense and have product market fit. One of them being the pre-confirmations systems on Ethereum that basically allow you to give more granular guarantees of what is in which transactions are in the blocks and how they're ordered. So we have Prime Up and Bolt there, but there's also a lot of other use cases where any chain, any system has like multiple infrastructures. They have oracles, they have interoperability, they have RPCs. All these things can be using the same stake and can be more secure by through restaking. So I think we're still very early and we haven't really seen anyone really take advantage of this. And that will happen over the next few years. I'm pretty confident. And then there's also like all these external use cases like insurance that will come on top of it, making it even more capital efficient. And that should be really exciting to see how that will play out.
That's nice. I'm just waiting for the community to ask some questions, but if we do not have any question in like 2 minutes, I think we just have to end it. It's have to end the EMA. Seems like community is okay with everything you've been talking about. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great to hear. That's I hope that was helpful to understand a bit better where we're at. And yeah, I mean, feel free to ask questions here anytime. They will make it through us. You can also reach me under this handle here on Discord. I'm not that much on Discord, to be honest, but on Telegram or Twitter, if you have anything, we're around on many conferences to talk to also in person. So don't hesitate if you see us to reach out.
What conference will you guys be attending next?
We'll be in Dubai for Token 2049 and the Staking Summit. We will also be at other places in Europe this year, in Cannes, probably in Buenos Aires at the end of the year, around various things. So it kind of depends a little bit who and what exactly, but we're representing to talk to builders there. Mostly that's our focus, builders that want to actually build decentralized systems and helping them achieve their goals. So we're focused on those conferences. And you can find us there, either speaking or in the booths or on the ground, in the field, in the trenches, as they say.
Yeah. Whoa. I just think there's 1 more minute left. Everyone's complaining that they came late. Don't worry, guys. I think the AMA is recorded, so you can listen to it after we're done. So, Matthias, I'm right?
Yes, I already record all these, Ama.
All right. So you don't have to worry about it. I know he gave us a little bit of alphas, some leaks, and things that are going to be happening in the future. So I know you guys are excited. But I think it's time, and we need to let you go enjoy the nice weather you guys have in Portugal, unlike us with the sun.
Yeah, we'll do. It's actually been getting better. It was quite horrible, so excited to. It's not
You
sunny
have no
today though,
idea
so
what
like
horrible
I'll
means.
grinding. Don't worry.
You have no idea what horrible means. Have you been in minus 40 degrees before?
Oh my god. Okay. Oh no. Like is that Siberia or where are we here?
And that's in like Ontario, which is really rare. But this year was just crazy. So yeah, thank you guys for attending today with me, and we've come to the end of the AMA. Thank you for joining us, and we'll be having more soon. So hopefully you guys join us. Any last word, Felix?
No, yeah. Thanks so much for coming on here and yeah, enjoy chatting with you all. I hope like next time I can answer a bit more questions, or feel free to send them some other way. And yeah, let's do it. Let's go.
All right, guys.
Excellent.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you, Felix, for this amazing math. Bye bye.